Travis Kelce, Perloff, still questionable. Chris Jones, no contract. He's not going to be playing tonight. Kansas City's in trouble.
Okay, you do realize Detroit Lions are going to Kansas City. The game's in Kansas City.
I do realize that. And you know what? I think it's actually the perfect thing for the Lions because the Lions have had to deal with unprecedented hype this offseason. Yeah. This is not something we're used to talking about when it comes to the Lions. We're talking about the Lions being terrible. We're talking about the Lions being a laughingstock. Now, because they won 8 out of the last 10 last year, it's like, oh, Lions, they're the hot team. The fact that they get to start on the road, I think actually helps a little bit because you don't have all the added pressure of, being in front of your home fans who are expecting everything. Instead, pressure now on the Kansas City Chiefs to deliver if Kelce can't play and without Chris Jones. The Detroit Lions have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Without Chris Jones, how are they going to get to Goff? How are they going to be able to stop what is a high-flying Detroit Lions offense?
This is the Chiefs we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to outscore them. And here's the thing. This is a 2-week Andy Reid situation. In fact, it's more than 2 weeks. Andy Reid off a bye is unbeatable. Guess what? When else he's unbeatable? Week 1. Unbeatable. They've not only they won every time, they're 9-1 since he got there on opening weeks, and they're 7-3 against the spread. And usually the Super Bowl champion wins this game. All the numbers point to Kansas City. I just feel like Andy Reid is going to game plan something. I don't care if Travis Kelce's there. They're going to outscore them.
It doesn't matter if you had 4 weeks, 40 weeks, or 2 days ago, Travis Kelce had a hyperextended knee. He's not your average guy. This isn't just like losing anybody here. It's Kelce who has more targets than anyone else on the team as a tight end.
Andy Reid didn't even need a starting quarterback. If you give him 2 weeks, he wins all the time. He is going to game plan against an inferior Detroit Lions defense. I mean, the way you're talking about it, the Lions are the defending champion, and the Chiefs are this upstart team. Come on, this is in Kansas City. It is Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback. You could say the Lions are going to win, but you have to use the word shock the defending champions. Because I don't care about the Travis Kelce injury. I don't care about Chris Jones. I mean, their defense can't stop anyone anyway. Did you see what the Eagles did to them?
Yes.
So I picture the Chiefs in a shootout. Even without Travis Kelce, I still think it's going to be a shootout. I can't wait. I got to admit, I'm not super comfortable with even 4.5 points. I think it's going to be a close game. But I think the Chiefs ride that Andy Reid magic, and they're going to outscore them here tonight.
Well, this was a shootout of a game when they met last year. And I just love how when Detroit is now like one of the sexy teams and an out-of-nowhere team or, someone who could win their own division, whatever – everyone talks about the offense, but no one is talking about the defense. When they actually did make appreciable upgrades this offseason, which the Chiefs really did not make. In fact, the most important person from their defense is missing. So, yes, Mahomes is incredible. He does things that, we all can only dream of. But at some point, you can't just take away, and he's going to cover up for everything. And I think in this game, it's a little bit of a wake-up call, and I think the reigning champs go home disappointed tonight.
Okay, so the Chiefs made some the Lions made some improvements on defense. The last one big guy they got was Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Do you know what his role in the Eagles Super Bowl was last year? He was the guy who kept he said, oh, man, this my bad, I blew that assignment. Or he might yell at the ref after the Chiefs guy ran in the end zone. These improvements.
What about Cam Sutton from the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I'm telling you, these improvements are not enough. It's Kansas City at home. I feel like you're discounting how good this team is.
No, and I'm not discounting the home crowd. Kansas City, as I've always said and everyone says, one of the hardest places to play. The noise there is insane. The fan base is incredible. All of that. I just think that Kelce, if he cannot play, and if he does play and he's limited, well, I guess I'd feel a little better about it if you're the Chiefs because at least he'd be like a decoy. But also then you're playing with fire here because if Kelce, who clearly has something going on in his knee, I know it's not the worst case scenario because there's no structural damage, but if they're all this swelling that his brother's talking about, then that means there's swelling, which means there's something wrong.
Yeah, but in the Super Bowl, lots of guys stepped up. Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney was really good in a limited action. You got this rookie, Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
They're going to be
about Kadarius Toney, who you can't count on at all, and a rookie.
Over the course of time, maybe you can't count them. Then they have the running backs are going to catch a lot of passes. I think if Detroit's smart, They're going to play really ball control and try and keep it out of Casey's hands. But that's not how Detroit's built either. They want to push the ball down the field.
Well, with Jahmyr Gibbs now, and obviously with David Montgomery.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a passing weapon more than a running weapon. I don't see them as a ball control thing, especially when they're going against this Kansas City defense.
No, you got to put up points. The only way they get out of this thing is by really scoring.
So I think it'll be a shootout. And if it's a shootout, I feel really comfortable that Casey can win a shootout because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. And I know Goff did that when he was with the Rams and they won 54-51 in primetime. But for Detroit to go on the road, Detroit can still be a great team and lose this game. That's the other thing. There's no pressure on them at all. It's an out-of-conference game. Who cares if they lose? If they lose to the best team in the AFC, they can still go 12-5 and be a Super Bowl favorite in the NFC.
No, I don't think that it kills the Lions, and I don't think it would kill the Chiefs. So if I'm the Lions, though, the fact that no one is like believing in us, I get to play that card too. And I get to come in and try to spoil the night for the Kansas City Chiefs. Do we have the Dan Campbell? We have a little Dan Campbell. Let's listen to the Danimal himself talking about his team.
No, I don't feel weight. I feel wind underneath my freaking wings, man. That's what I feel.
Truthfully?
Truthfully.
It uplifts you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love this, man. This is outstanding. No, this is not a burden. This is not pressure. This is not weight. This is, man, this gives me inspiration is what it does for me.
Now, the question is, do you think Dan Campbell's a Bette Midler fan? Wind beneath my freaking wings, man. Yeah.
So
could be.
That's interesting. And how many playoff appearances have all these Dan Campbell quotes given us since he got there?
Well, if Seattle hadn't won that game and then, whatever happened last year, they beat the Packers. They sent Aaron Rodgers packing to the New York Jets.
So we're making our Super Bowl picks today. Can we wait till tomorrow? Because if the Lions do win this game, then I have to tell you.
No, you don't get to jump on. No.
Yeah, because I think there is a lot of pressure on the Chiefs. They should sweep the NFC. I think all the good AFC teams should sweep the NFC teams because the AFC is so much better. So that's another reason why I feel like, okay, yeah, Detroit's a really good team. I think they're going to win their division, but they're an NFC team. You're telling me KC should at least at home sweep their NFC opponents. That's just the way it should be because it's such an edge in that conference.
But without Kelsey, this is a different offense. Like, we see what it's like without Tyreek Hill. They won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I get that. But it doesn't mean that they can do and replicate the same thing without Kelsey. Kelsey is so important to what they do.
How would you possibly know that Kelsey's any different than Hill? Nobody knew that Hill was going to be unimportant. So why? Maybe Kelsey's not as important as we thought.
No, I think that it was clear that Hill wasn't as important because Andy Reid didn't move heaven and earth to try to keep Tyreek Hill.
Right.
Yet Travis Kelce remains. And yes, I don't know what they're going to do life after Kelce, but that's after Kelce. For now, while he's still there, he's such a massive part of the offense. You just can't deny it.
Well, also, he could play tonight, so let's not talk about him in the past.
It's questionable. According to Pro Football Talk, he's got a $44,000 bonus, roster bonus that would kick in if he plays tonight.
Does that mean anything?
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about that's 0.01% of his yearly salary. Besides, they got Noah Gray, and they got, remember Blake Bell, the former Oklahoma quarterback with the Belldozer? He's in the mix.
Great.
I love Noah Gray, by the way. Every once in a while, some random receiver in Kansas City will catch a touchdown. You'll be like, and he'll make a great catch. Mahomes can throw to anybody. He really can. I want a shootout, and I think KC, because of the Andy Reid effect, 2 week. Any kind of bye, even in the beginning of the season, Reid is just going to torch this offense. I think it's going to be super high scoring, a lot of fun. I just don't see Detroit stopping KC, even without Kelsey. But I'm curious, if Kelsey was purely healthy, would you really think about this game totally differently?
I mean, probably, but I'm like everyone. I mean, the line on this game came down, 2 points? Yeah. Almost 2 full points for Travis Kelce. That's like quarterback level movement on a line. So clearly I'm not the only one who thinks that Kelce is more important. Doubt. How much would the line have moved if Tyreek Hill was still on the team and couldn't play? Not 2 points. Not 2 points.
I don't know. Tyreek Hill was...
No, I know Tyreek Hill. You and I both picked him to be Offensive Player of the Year. It's not about that. It's about the line would not have moved that much.
I think you're looking back and thinking about it now. I'm not sure it was that, obviously. A lot of people...
wouldn't have moved because they still would have had Kelsey.
No, that's not true.
I don't...
I mean, listen, the Super Bowl odds fell like an anvil when they lost Tyreek Hill last year. Nobody was picking the Chiefs at this time last year because they lost Tyreek Hill. And they made up for it.
I picked them last year.
Oh, there you go.
I know. I feel like I got a pulse on this team. I got a vibe on them. They beat my team so many times. I feel like I understand them.
So you think Kelsey is far more important than Tyreek Hill was?
I think that proved out. Yeah. I think that bared out.
All right.
I do.
I mean, I think that coach.
They kept one and they didn't keep the other.
I think that coach and that quarterback can do a lot of damage. In fact, I don't even think they need that quarterback. I think that coach can do a lot of damage.
Oh, wow. Look at you now. Just like the Andy Reid Kool-Aid.
Well, I mean, listen, I was in Philly when Donovan McNabb went down, and he turned A.J. Feely into a first-team All-Pro quarterback, and then Kevin Cobb, and then whoever else was there. Reid's game planning is a huge factor, and he tends to come up with twists in these situations. We'll see.
You realize the one thing that changed with Andy Reid when he got to Kansas City?
What?
Super Bowls. Couldn't win them before. And then finally started winning them with Mahomes.
But he got to 5 conference title games.
Yeah, no, he's had a ton of success.
He was a slouch. I mean, also, too, he's been how many Super Bowls with he's been in 3, right? In KC?
3, yeah.
3. So
2
he's 1, 2, but they were all ridiculously close. It's not like he's that different a coach. But he always had good offense in Philly. He just couldn't really get it all together at the same time. And they lost his home favorites in NFC title game 3 times. So, Ed, I don't know why you're getting me on this. Is that because I make fun of the Bills all the time? You're telling me how the Eagles lose?
No, I'm just saying that it's a little much to say that Andy Reid, if Andy Reid could win a Super Bowl with just any quarterback, he would have won a Super Bowl with just any quarterback. And he got close, but it took Mahomes to put him over the edge.
But he can turn any quarterback into a really productive quarterback. That's been proven again and again and again. Jeff Garcia, it doesn't matter.
We can do that, but we're talking about now the most elite level, and to me, missing a massive weapon tonight if Kelsey can't go.
I'll tell you, okay, maybe tonight, but over the long haul, if Reid coaches 5 more years, they're not going to completely fall off because Kelsey retires because they have Mahomes.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But why is that not valid for tonight?
Because I think they need Kelsey for this game plan. If you have a whole offseason to think about how you're going to replace Travis Kelsey and you make trades and you draft accordingly, then it's different. This happened 2 days ago. And now you're asking to create a new game plan with a guy who's such a huge part of the offense.
Okay.
We'll see.
Did we see Kelsey in the second half that much last year in the Super Bowl? No. I think he was thrown all over the field.
I know, but he's still a decoy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you have a lot of confidence in that Lions defense, even with Kelsey. Here's the other thing, too.
Yes.
You must be nervous about this pick because it's in KC.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Right.
And I wouldn't even take the points probably. I would just do the money line. Like if I am feeling that confident about Detroit and if Kelsey is going to be limited, then if I was going to go betting on this, probably just go money line is a little bit better value, right?
Definitely.
4.5.
Definitely. It doesn't. I don't feel like.
I don't know if it pays to do the money line on that.
Yeah. And usually, but there's another stat. KC, when they're between 5 and 10 point favorites, almost always wins.
Yeah.
So
it's just under.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just under, so maybe that's a factor. You don't want to read too much into the lines here. But I'm telling you, I have faith in Reid. This is going to be so fun, though. I cannot wait. This game, the NFL, when they set this up, did we have any idea it was going to be so dramatic?
No, the Kelsey and Chris Jones things have definitely added a twist.
Oh, my gosh. It's almost as if the script is real. The NFL wrote a script.